ಯಾವ್ದು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ? ಯಾವ್ದಮ್ಮ? ಅದೇ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಪೂರ್ಣಗಂ ಸ್ವಾಹ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಲ್ವಾ? ಅಲ್ಲ, ಹಿಂದೆ ಪೂರ್ಣಾಹುತಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅದಾಯ್ತು. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಹೇಳಿ ನೆನಪಿದೆಯಲ್ಲಮ್ಮ ನಂಗೇನೆ.
ರಾಮನಿಗಾಗಿ ಸಮಯ ಸಂಯಮ
ನಮ ಶಂಭವಾಯ್ಚ ಮಯೋಭವಾಯ್ಚ. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಪೂರ್ಣಾವತಿ. ಓಂ ಪೂರ್ಣಗಂ ಸ್ವಾಹ ಅಂತ. ಹೇಳಿಲ್ವಾ? I have told you the conclusion of Garbhadana Samskara with Purnahuti, Purnagam Swaha.
No.
ಹೇಳಿಲ್ವಾ? ನಮ ಶಂಭವಾಯ ಚ ಮಯೋಭವಾಯ ಚ ನಮ ಶಂಕರಾಯ ಚ. Then Purnahuti. With that yajna comes to an end.
Namah Sambhavaya cha vayam krutavantah.
After that 3 times we say Om Purnagam Swaha, Om Purnagam Swaha, and conclude the Havan. So this is a Havan part of the Garbhadana Samskara. Then we got some more thing to discuss. Now this Garbhadana Samskara is officially performed once. But to get the whole things into our mind and settle it in our mind, we may have to do it every day depending upon our requirement. Husband and wife, they sit together and perform this Garbhadana Samskara day after day until she conceives. Now during that period, after the yajna, they have to sit together, husband and wife, they have to sit together and plan the future child. So further they have to discuss so many things. What are the things that they have to discuss? So an indication is given in few mantras. You discuss on these lines so that it will be beneficial to you when you conceive. And this discussion goes on those lines. This also we do today, but we do it not in a samskara way, but we do it in by mundane way. Okay, we shall have a boy, we shall have a girl. Okay, what if it is a boy? What if it is a girl? Okay, if it's a boy, we will make him in so and so. We will provide him all these facilities. If it's a girl, this is what we have to do. This is a name you want to give to the male or the female. So many things. He should be very intelligent, should be very strong and hefty. So many things. So like this we also discussed today. But it has no effect on the soul. Samskara is not there. So the mantras what you have got here have an impact on the soul which is supposed to come. And until it comes, it will have an impact on the soul of the father and the mother, the would-be father and the would-be mother. So they discuss on those lines the reorientation, the reformation of the souls of the father and the mother will happen. And if they prepare a tool like Sharindra Manas, a better Atma is expected. Invited. This I have discussed earlier. So this is in continuation. This is in continuation of this Garbhadana Samskara. So these mantras are not just theoretical. It is theoretical and practical and logical and scientific. We shall see them. The first one is another very important psychological aspect is there. If husband and wife sit together and look forward for a child, Both of them together. It's not that mother wants a child, it's not that the husband wants a child, it's not like that. Both aspire for a good child. Both aspire for a good progeny. So they're aspiring for a good progeny together. The progeny, getting the progeny is one issue. The other thing is they become close to one another. They start loving one another. The husband starts loving the wife because she is the only person who can give him his child. And the wife loves the husband because he is the only person who is the donor of the required thing for the child. So we become closer and they feel that you only is necessary to continue your generation. You only is necessary and inevitable to continue your generation. That inevitability brings them together and closer and the bondage becomes stronger. It's another psychological aspect there. It is not there, it just becomes a physical act. And once it becomes a physical act, okay, the child may be born, but the quality of the child we cannot assure because it's just a physical act as animal-like. It's animal-like. So this is more than that, and they try to fuse their hearts. They try to fuse their thoughts. And this coming closer to fuse their hearts and thoughts will definitely make them better husband and wife, and the child born to such a pair will be of a very high quality. In fact, that's the very purpose of marriage. In Vivaha Samskara, there's one small guidance there. It says, Samapo Hrudayani now. Maybe I referred to this earlier also. I did it once again. Samapo Hrudayani now. Yenma Vedakta Jedpatha. Yaratvilva. Samapo Hrudayani now. This is a oath. They would be husband and wife. That is, the bride and the groom take before the august audience before them. Samapo Hrudayani now. The meaning is wonderful. The meaning is wonderful. We have decided, we have been loving each other, we have understood each other, we have studied each other. And today we have decided that we shall fuse ourselves. Let our hearts fuse. How? How the heart should fuse? They say, Samapaha, now Hrudayani. Apaha means water. So I got 2 glasses of water and 1 bowl which is empty. Now the water from these 2 glasses of water I pour into the bowl. Now both waters from these 2 tumblers into the bowl, they fuse so much that's impossible to segregate them. Both waters from both tumblers into the bowl become so harmonious that it's impossible even, not segregating, it's not even possible to identify which droplet of water has come from which tumbler. So in such a way we want to fuse ourselves. That's the simile what they have given in that Veda mantra. Kodamali. Samskaradal bharathe. Vivaha samskara ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಸಂಸ್ಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Rigveda 10:85-47. Rigveda 10:85-47. Samapo Hrudayani now. Rigveda 10:85-47. As the 2 waters merge into one another so harmoniously, which cannot be identified or which cannot be segregated, separated. Like that, we want to fuse our hearts and souls together. That's the oath they take at the time of Vivaha Samskara. Now, the practical application of it is here when both of them aim for a good child. So they love one another, they live together, and they fuse their hearts as to the purpose and goal of their meeting together. So you start thinking on these lines, both of you with the same aspiration to get a child. Then they become closer. Their hearts will fuse. They love one another. Which was declared then during Vivaha Samskara is practically done now. And with that attitude, with that mindset, if they come together, yes, the possibility of a good progeny is very, very high. I am speaking in terms of probabilities. We don't know what happens in the future. I cannot assure this will happen, certainly, no. As far as past, it's very clear, yes, this has happened. But for future, we cannot say this will happen. So our limitation is, we can speak about the future in terms of probability. So the probability of a good child is very high if they love one another, if they like one another, if they fuse their hearts and come together and beget a child. So what are all the things they have to discuss among themselves to make themselves closer to one another? So we have got several mantras. So let me dictate one by one. Yatha vataha. Yatha vataha. Pushkarinim. Yatha vataha. Pushkarinim. Samingayati sarvataha. Samingayati sarvataha. One vertical line. Yatha vataha pushkarinim samingayati sarvataha. Yevate garbham yejatu. Garbham yejatu. Niraitu. Dashamasya swaha. Dashamasya swaha. So it's a continued process of the Garbhadana Samskara. It's a continued one. And this is Rigveda 578:7. 578:7. Yatha vataha pushkarinim samingayati sarvataha. Yevate garbham yejatu niraitu dashamasya swaha. I don't know how far I'm eligible to describe this, because there's an experience exclusively for the would-be mother. That's what it says. A would-be mother will have this experience. Of course, I have talked with my wife and she concurs with that. But as far as I'm concerned, because I'm a male, so I can't speak authoritatively on it, but still, I will try to explain what it is. Yetu dashamasya swaha. This we have already discussed, dashamasya. So the child has to grow in the womb for 9 and odd months. And in 10th month, she has to deliver. That too in a natural way. No force, no C-section. So if that is the case, mother will also be healthy. The child will also would have grown to its full extent in the womb of the mother, and the child also will be very happy and healthy. Dashamasya. Yetu ingato. Yetu dashamasya swaha. So you don't expect a premature delivery anytime. It's a very important thing. This we call it as auto-suggestion. Auto-suggestion. It's a very, very important thing in psychology. So auto-suggestion is, I suggest myself, this is what is going to happen, this is what is going to happen, and I tune myself to that suggestion. So I tune myself to the suggestion. The possibility of things happening in the same way as I suggest myself, that's auto-suggestion, is very high. Maybe, if required, you may take the help of a psychologist or psychiatrist also for this, that's okay. But the main thing is, okay, I'll have a normal delivery, I'll have a good baby, I'll have a healthy baby. So our whole thought process should be very positive. No negativity should creep in. So if we think about it positively, over and over and over, the whole system, our Sharira, Indriya, Manas, and the soul, they all tune up to that positivity. So that's what we are saying. Dashamasya Swaha. So you shall beget the child in the 10th month, when you will also be healthy and the child also will be fully grown. That is Dashamasya Swaha. What is the experience you will have? It says, Yatha Vataha Pushkaranim Samingayati Sarvatara. This one simile what they have given. Correct. Pushkaranim, a lake. Pushkaranim, a lake, a still lake. Pushkaranim. You have heard of this Pushkarani? A lake in a temple or in a holy place? Pushkarani, a lake where they take a dip before seeing the Lord and the things, so many things. But that's not the purpose. Pushkarani, the very word says, Pusha Pushtau. That which gives you nourishment is Pushkarani. That which gives you nourishment and strength is called as a Pushkarani. Of course, water is one of the source of our nourishment. Water is our source of nourishment, one of the sources. Today we call it with a very medical name known as hydrotherapy. Today we call it as hydrotherapy. That the very well Pushkarani speaks about that. That is the lake, the water, where you take a dip, will definitely nourish you, will relax you, will remove you of the toxins. At the same time, the lake is to be maintained in a particular way. This very few people know. So many people come and take a dip and the whole Pushkarani becomes unusable or unclean. But actually it has to be maintained well. That is, nourishing things have to be added to the water so that it gets cleaned up every time. One very simple thing what we have to do is, alum, you have heard of alum? Alum. Alum is a good purifier. So when you put alum in small quantities into the water, the dirt in it will be removed and it becomes pure and crystal clear. Alum too is clear. Just an example I'm taking. It's not exactly alum, it is alum-like. And you get so many herbs, which are to be added into the water, so that people who take a dip into it will have a relaxed condition, will have a better health. That's a Pushkarani. Pushtim kar. Pushti is Pushta, nourishment. That is bestows nourishment on us. That's a Pushkarani. There is another process. Just because it's a parallel thing I'm telling, it has got nothing to do with this mantra. In the same way, they prepare mud, they prepare earth in an arena. Arena, you know? Arena. Say for example, a boxing arena we have got with fence and other things. So that is an arena. In ancient India, we had an arena for wrestling. So it had a soft mud on that. So even if you fall, nothing will happen to you. What do you call? Here in Karnataka, we call it as Gardi. Garadi. Any word you know about that? Where they wrestle in a gymnasium-like thing? Akhada, okay. Akhada. Akhada is at Garadi. So it's not just mud. In that akhada, to that mud, they had lot of herbal and medicinal plants and medicinal property things. So the whole mud will be just like medicine. Wrestling is one thing, okay. If you wrestle, you get in touch with that mud and everything. Even if wrestling is not there, many people use that, just go to the akhada, sit there, pour the mud on them, up to the neck level, sit down for half an hour and get out. It's similar to a mud pack. It's like a mud pack. So these all things what they are discussed in detail in what you call as naturopathy. Naturopathy, where the medicine is, you are very light, the very air, the very mud, the very water. So this all the agencies used for curative purposes. This is what we see in naturopathy. So they are aware of all these things. Today we call it as mud therapy, we call it as hydrotherapy, so many things. We call it as steam bath, we call it as sauna bath, so many things. As today's terms. But everything they came in contact, they used it so positively, they used it so effectively that out of everything, yes, they could get some nourishment, they could get some health. So one such system is the Pushkarini. Pushkarini place where a lot of people come and they get benefited out of it. That's a Pushkarini, a still lake. The next thing is, when such a still lake is there, a beautiful wind blows upon it. A beautiful wind blows upon it, a healthy wind blows upon it, and it creates ripples. It creates ripples on the surface of the lake. When the wind blows on the still lake, it causes ripples, waves on the surface of the lake. Similarly, a lady who has conceived will have the feeling. That's what it's telling. A lady who has conceived will have an indication that it feels like, say her room is like a lake and she has conceived, and you feel the waves and ripples that move on the surface of the lake. That's the experience they have told. So if you know this earlier, and if you wait for such a signal, yes, we will be able to know it. But nobody has told us these are the signals. Nobody has told us these are the indicators. Something we conceive and we deliver and the whole issue is over. It's not like that. The experience of motherhood is so divine and is so wonderful that it has to be just enjoyed. Sorry, I'm not an exact authority on that. Yevate garbhamejatu. In the same way, let the conception take place and let you deliver the child in the 10th month. Om yatha vataha pushkarinim samingayati. Samingayati causes ripples and waves. Sarvataha, from all sides. Evate garbham mejatu. In the same way, let your garbha have the feeling, and ye to dashamasya swaha. Let it come out, let you deliver naturally, comfortably in the 10th month. This is Rigveda 5:78-7. Now I'm amazed. This is nothing less than the understanding of a medical practitioner who has specialized in gynecology and obstetrics. It's nothing less than that. Thousands of years ago, that visualized all these things and explained in so well a way. That's where I'm amazed. We are amazed at small discoveries today in the scientific or medical field. Okay, I'm not denying it. But thousands of years ago, they could see all these things, they could understand all these things, they could experience all these things. That is so wonderful. Ike devata yaru noduva mantrake. Rigveda. Now for the second mantra. Yatha vato ಯಥಾ ವಾತೋ ನಂತರ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮ 5, 78, 7 78 ನೋಡಿ ಸಾಕು ನಂಗೆ 5, 78 ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಮಂತ್ರಕ್ಕೂ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ದೇವತೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಹೇಳು, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ 7, 8, 9 ಕೇಳು. ಯಥಾ ವಾತೋ ಯಥಾ ವನಂ ಯಥಾ ಸಮುದ್ರ ಯೇಜತಿ ಯಥಾ ಸಮುದ್ರ ಯೇಜತಿ ಏವಾತ್ವಂ ಏವಾತ್ವಂ ದಶಮಾಸ್ಯ ಸಹಾವೇಹಿ ಸಹಾವೇಹಿ ಜರಾಯುಣ ಸ್ವಾಹ. ಯಥಾ ವಾತೋ ಯಥಾ ವನಂ ಯಥಾ ಸಮುದ್ರ ಯೇಜತಿ ಏವಾತ್ವಂ ದಶಮಾಸ್ಯ ಸಹಾವೇಹಿ ಜರಾಯುಣ ಸ್ವಾಹ. ಋಗ್ವೇದ 5.78.8. ಋಗ್ವೇದ 5.78.8. ಸಿಗ್ತೇನಮ್ಮ? ಯಥಾ ವಾತೋ ಯಥಾ ವನಂ ಯಥಾ ಸಮುದ್ರ ಯೇಜತಿ ಏವಾತ್ವಂ ದಶಮಾಸ್ಯ ಸ್ವಾಹಾವೇಹಿ ನಾಟ್ ಸ್ವಾಹ ಸಹಾವೇಹಿ ಜರಾಯುಣ ಸ್ವಾಹ. ಯಾರ್ದು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲ ಅಶ್ವಿನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಬೇಕು. ಅಶ್ವಿನಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟೆಷ್ಟು ಅರ್ಥ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ತಗೋಬೇಕಾದ್ದು ಯಾರು? ಏವಂ ತ್ವಂ ದಶಮಾಸ್ಯ ಸಹಾವೇಹಿ ಜರಾಯುಣ ಸ್ವಾಹ. 578. The same thing is little bit explained and expanded here in this mantra. It says, you think of a thick forest and are looking at it from the top of a hill. Imagine you're on the top of a hill and below us is a thick forest spread before us, the greens spread before us. Everything is still, calm, the wind blows. Now imagine the whole green what is before me will just move like this, in a wave form, no water, but the very trees, they move this way and that way in such a way because of this wind, wave like or a ripple like fashion. The top of the trees will swing hither thither, will swing. And when we are looking from the top of the hill, we feel that a big wave is going, which is a green wave of the treetops. And the same thing happens in the sea also, samudram mejati. So you're in a high point near a seashore. When the wind blows, a similar thing you can see on the water, on the sea water. It's bigger than what I'm seeing in a Pushkarani. Pushkarani also I see it, But it is an enlarged, expanded framework of this. Vanam and Samudram is the same ripples and types. Now the only difference between that is Pushkarani, it starts in a small scale. Pushkarani is in a small scale because Pushkarani is limited. It has got limitations and steps into it. It's okay, it's a limited. It starts like that and expands to a big forest and a big sea. That wave and ripple-like experience. And it says, like that, let it happen, let you experience it, and at the end of the 10th month, you deliver the child. And it doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. It's not just delivering the child, but along with the child, the placenta also has to come out. That is called Jarayuna. Jarayuna Swaha. Placenta was a temporary sac that was there to take care of the child, to protect the child in the womb of the mother. So the placenta also should get delivered. The primary delivery is delivery of the child, and the second delivery is the delivery of the placenta. Because the job is over. The job is over, and the placenta or sac is severed, and the child comes out. So what is the use of that sac now? It's not reusable. So that also has to be thrown out. Its duty is over. That also has to come out. That is the placenta. That's the jarayu. Let the child come out and a placenta follow it. Then the mother is very safe and healthy. If the placenta doesn't come out, it rots in her womb and infects, and so many problems could happen. It has happened. It has happened. The strength of the mother should be such that she should be able to deliver the child as well as the placenta too. It should get continued. And with that, the delivery comes to an end. If the placenta doesn't come out, and if she doesn't have the strength and capacity to push it out, then some surgical procedures have to be taken, and it has to be somehow removed out of it. It's not removed, it gets infected there. It infects the whole womb. So many problems will happen. Because it's dirt, it's over, its job is over. As long as the child is there, it is a protective sac, and it is very important. Once the delivery has taken place, it's a waste and it should be thrown out. So along with Jarayu, along with placenta, that you deliver the child in the 10th month, that's the thing they are discussing. Okay, these are all the processes what you have to undergo after conception and at the time of delivery. Husband and wife, they come and discuss on those lines. They sit together. And in other mantras, in other samskaras, say Pumsavana and Semantonaina, there's continuation of this. Okay, it's a good experience. You experience that motherhood, and not only that, I'll always be with you. The husband assures the wife, I'm with you always. Not here, but in that Pumsavana and Semantonaina samskara, we see that. They're all complementary to one another. Don't worry, you're not alone in this process. I'm with you. So he gives all the security, he gives all the assurance to the wife. And he says, I'm with you always. I'll help you. I'll help you to remove all the problems and all the difficulties around you, and I'll create such an environment where you can enjoy this motherhood to the best extent possible. And these are the possible feelings what you will get. The possible feelings are the waves and ripples as you see in the forest or maybe in the ocean. And finally, please maintain your strength in such a way that you'll be able to deliver the child along with the placenta. So this is what we see in Rigveda 578.8. So we are amazed how they could work out those minute details also at the time of conception, before the conception, and prepare themselves physically, mentally, and spiritually. It's so amazing, it's so awesome. Now, one more mantra is there that we'll see next time, but before that, I would like to say one very important thing. I had discussed about this Devata part of it. Devata, it's not this god or goddess as we generally understand. Many people mistake it. Every mantra has got its own god, Devata. But here Devata doesn't mean in the normal parlance the god or this and that. Mantra Pratipadyo Vishayaha Devata. This I discussed earlier also. This is what Yaska explains. Mantra Pratipadya Vishayo Devata. It's the subject matter of the mantra which is highlighted in one or two words as Devata. That's a heading. That's a heading. That's a heading for the oncoming subject and discussion. Mantra Pratipadya Vishayo Devata. It's very simple to understand. It's not god or goddess. You may be amazed that the Devata for these three mantras, it is Ashwinav. Ashwinav. I have told you, Ashwinav has different meanings. Here in this case, it is a husband and wife. Ashwinav. Very apt, very apt. It's they who has to sit down and discuss these things and get prepared for their fatherhood and motherhood. I got one more thing to tell you. All who are listening to this. Now study these things, whatever I told and whatever I'm going to say in future also, and make an organized list, procedure and rite and ritual, and there in your place for the newly married or planning to have a child, you can perform this Garbhadana Samskara and enlighten them about all these things, whatever I explained to you. You can be a very good Purohit, a very good guide for them before they conceive a baby. So then only whatever I taught you will be practically useful. Else it will all be just theoretical. Yes, I spoke something, you heard something. It's not that. You have to implement it. You have to implement it. So make, while studying all these things from the first mantra of Garbhadana Samskara to all this and maybe a few more which I am going to discuss with you, make a beautiful procedural thing and make them perform this havan. I don't know how far it's possible because if little smoke comes out, your fire alarm will start banging. So you got your own problems. Even then, if havan is not done, even then it's okay. As soon as sit for an hour or two with you and tell them the things what they have to follow before begetting a child. That will add to the value. So that I expect you to do it. So with that intention only, and of course it's for expansion of your knowledge as well as my knowledge also. So that is one basic thing. The second thing is that it will be useful to others also. And with that intention I am doing it. Let us see many more mantras are there. What this husband and wife have to sit together and chat together, loving each other, believing each other, being faithful to each other. Okay, we'll see that. Thank you for the day. Namaste. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತೇನ್ರಮ್ಮ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟು? ಏಳನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ವರೆಗೂ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ನಾನು. ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಷ್ಟತ್ತೆ ನಿನ್ನೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೆಯೋದೇನಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ 8ನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಗೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ನಮ್ಮ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸು, ಅಜ್ಜಿ. ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಬರೀ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡೋರಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಆ 8, 9, 10 PUC ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು. ಅವಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಷ್ಟ ಅನ್ಸೋದು ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್. ಒದ್ದಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹಂಗೆ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆಯಿತು. ನಮ್ಮಪ್ಪನೂ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ರು, ನಮ್ಮ ದೊಡ್ಡಪ್ಪ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ರು. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಮಗನೂ ನನ್ನ ವಯಸ್ಸೇನೇನೆ. ಅವ್ನಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡೋಕೆ ನಾನು ಹೋಗಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ನಮ್ಮಪ್ಪ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡೋ ಅವ್ನು ಬಂದು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋನು. ಅವನು ಹಾಗೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಏನೊಂದಷ್ಟು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ರು. ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂಥರ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆಂಟಾಗಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಬರೆದು ಬಿಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ, ಮಾತಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂಥರ ಅಂತಂದ್ಕೂಡ ಆ ಪದಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಜ್ಞಾಪಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾತಾಡೋ ಥರ ಇರೋದು. ಮಾಡ್ತಾ 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 ಅದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಈಸಿ ಆಯಿತು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಅಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದು ಪದ ತಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಹಾಗಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಆದರೆ ಈ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನಾನು ಒಪ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದ ಉದ್ದೇಶನೇ ಆ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಬರಲಿ ಅಂತ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಲ್ಲೇ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ಆ ಪದಗಳು ಏನೇನು ಬಳಸ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಮರ್ತೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಸನ್ನಿವೇಶ ಎಲ್ಲಾರ ಅದನ್ನ ಬಳಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ, ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಇನ್ನಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬರಲಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಇನ್ನು ಒಪ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಆಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಸೊ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಓದಬೇಕು.